In this video, I'm going to show you what happens after your application for credit is approved. This is one of the Metro 2 compliant data furnishing software, mostly used by smaller data furnishers. It's an outdated version, but it's not very different from the current versions. It has three important sections: customer, account details, and compliance messages. This first page, customer, is usually filled from the consumer's credit application directly. It can either be imported directly into the software, or if the data furnisher has not set up their system for direct import, they can always copy it from the consumer's credit application and paste it into every appropriate field. I'm just gonna enter data into all these fields so you can see how the software is reacting to entry. And all these red marks indicates that these fields are mandatory. And actually, these are very important fields. So last John Doe, middle name, if there is a middle name, you should enter it. And generation code, you can choose from the drop down. Unfortunately, the screen recording does not show you the drop downs, but there is drop downs. So the social security number, as you can see, there is no red indicator right next to it. That means it's not mandatory field. Same goes for the date of birth and telephone number and cell phone number. Let's enter a telephone number. And if the telephone number and the cell phone are the same, you can just copy paste it. I'm just gonna intentionally leave date of birth, middle initial, and the social security number fields blank. I'm not gonna fill anything out, so you can see how the system reacts to this. Address 101 South 101 Street, zip code 33180. Okay, there is this lookup button. If I click on this button, it will take us to a post office and it will validate the address through the post office. And it will also indicate if it's a commercial, residential, multifamily, single family residence. I'm not gonna do that. And let's go to city, Miami, Florida, United States. Address indicator, if we get the info from the lookup, we can just enter it here. And the resident code, it's either own or rent, and as actually it's on the application, so I'm just gonna go with own, just anything. Okay, here we have employment information. So you can enter employer name from the application and employee address, phone number, all the details, fax number, if you have it. So let's go back to address, and we can see that on this page everything is white, no red or yellow indicators. We can move forward to account details. First things first, a new account number. All data furnishers, they're presetting their software with the seconds of account numbering into the system. So all they have to do now is just click generate, and the system will generate a new account number for this particular customer. And the credit limit, underwriter has set the credit limit. Let's not be cheap, let's go with 100,000. High credit, I'm just gonna go with $100 just to get rid of this red mark. And date of account information, it would be today's date. Date open would be today's date. And actually I can manually manipulate all these dates. I can go back like 5 years, 10 years if I need to. Okay, codes, important section. Account status, I'm just gonna go ahead and report code 11, current account, never past due. Account type, I'm just gonna go with code 18, credit card. And as you can see, even though I've input some data here, but these red indicators are still around. They didn't go anywhere because they're dependent on what am I gonna choose from this bottom section. So ECOA code, I'm gonna go with individual, and interest type, I'll choose code V as variable adjustable, and portfolio type, we'll go with the revolving credit card. Term frequency, monthly billing, and term duration, again, it's a revolving account, no term duration, so REV, meaning revolving. Here is a payment history. Unfortunately, again, you cannot see the drop down, otherwise it would show you 2 years of payment history. And I'm not gonna do anything here. I'm just gonna go ahead and show you if there is an authorized user or a co-signer with this account. We can add it by clicking this button, and last name, first name, middle name, date of birth, generation, social security number, and the telephone number. A quick note: an authorized user can have their own address, or you can choose the same address as the customer and click here. From ECOA code sections, you will choose either authorized user or joint applicants. So I'm just going to go ahead and choose authorized user and go back to account. Everything is white, no red marks, no yellow marks. So I'm just going to go to compliance messages. Compliance message, this is the most important section, because if there is a red indicator like this one, no credit bureau will take this particular account. You cannot submit this for processing. So you have to correct the red indicators first. Yellow ones are not important, they're secondary. And actually with the yellow indicators, you can still submit the data for processing, but not with the red one. So the red one says date of birth and or social security number is required. So we go back to customer and we just add a date of birth, 01/01/2001. Watch what happens. The red indicator right next to it gone, and actually is gone from the compliance messages section too. Okay, social security number. Let's just enter a random social security number, even though it's not important anymore, but 222 222 222. Okay, watch what happens. Social security number is invalid. That's what the message says. That means the system is validating the social security number right away. So I'm just gonna remove this to get rid of this red. Okay, middle name is required. I mean, if the person has a middle name, then you should enter it. If they don't, you shouldn't. I'm just gonna enter D, for example, so you can see how it disappears from here. This data is complete. I can submit it for processing. If I do submit it, everything will go smoothly, and next morning the customer will see their account showing in their consumer reports. In the next videos, in upcoming videos, I will show you what happens with the late payment, what happens if I add a collection and a charge off. But for today, this is it. The reason that I'm demonstrating this is because I need you to understand how little room software leaves for data furnishers for a mistake. So as far as the compliance messages, as far as the compliance mistakes, it cannot, the file, submitted file that shows in the credit report, it cannot contain any mistakes, not serious mistakes, period. So all data that has been submitted for processing is compliant by Fair Credit Reporting Act, by credit reporting agencies compliance, and by all other laws. And the yellow indicators, it's not important. So this is it, and the next videos I will just show you more. So long.